That's it. What is this? Season 2 of the Real Deep Podcast.
We're better than ever.
Jeez.
Look at that. We got video, guys. We got video.
Moving on up. Well, we wanted to say thank you for everybody listening for the first season. We were getting our feet wet and very interesting, transition. The podcast is definitely a nice learning experience for both of us, I think. We got to talk to a lot of our own colleagues, plus a lot of people from outside the industry. And we got to experience what it feels like to be on the air, giving information out, and we thank you all for your feedback, and we hope to make this,
Say the first season was a trial run to see if we could, if we liked it.
Yeah.
And now we're getting a little more serious.
Hey, you saying I think we like it.
I think we like talking shit.
And yeah, what do we want to talk about today, buddy?
Shit's going crazy.
It's since the last time that we talked, we were on the interest rate train and we were watching everything on the way up. Every month we were seeing the prices go up. Then we saw the prices start to adjust themselves.
Right.
Now I can say, like, from the time of March to about now, October, some things have settled, but there's still some.
I would say people have gotten used to the high interest rates, and they're probably going to accept the fact that this is here for a little while. If you do want to buy a property, this is kind of like the new norm, right? The same way it happened in 2018, where they introduced every time they introduce something new into the market, there's a little lull for people to be like, ooh, it's going to crash the market. Well, in this case, it kind of did. But it takes a little bit of while for people to be like, okay, now it's the time for us to get back into it.
Yeah, I think you have to be able to digest what's happening. And then the other part was, like, as fast as the market was moving upwards during the pandemic and the time after, like in the last few months, it was moving upwards fairly quickly, so you couldn't really gauge where the market was on a week-to-week basis. It was just like up from last week. Now it's going the other way, where it's like down from last week. But here's a big but.
What's the but?
Would you say, like, in this market right now, with all the bad news, and we'll get to the bad news because there's a lot of bad news out there.
Hey, Raj, I don't like the word bad news.
Okay, there's a lot of.
Don't say the R word.
Okay, no, I won't say it yet. But yeah, there's a lot of talk out there, and it's just it's just one after the other. It's no positivity. It's just negative.
Yeah.
But in with all that framing this question, if you were to see 25 offers on a property, wouldn't, like, that would make some people be like, what?
Well, Raj, wait, 25 offers.
Well, that's just one example. I'll give you the example. This is from one of our colleagues at the office. We were playing a dodgeball game.
Right, dodgeball.
Yes, we play dodgeball on our spare time. But yeah, basically he was looking at a property that was in Ajax, and it was listed for an $850,000 price, and they had different expectations than the $850. So what's new? Nothing. But they ended up fielding 25 offers, and this is just like last week.
25 offers.
25 offers.
February?
No, and that's literally it. I said, wow. And then I asked our agent, like, so what did you guys play with there? He goes, we tried 50K over, so like 900-ish. And I go, okay, what did it sell for? And he goes, buddy, it didn't even sell. And I said,
25 offers, and they still didn't sell.
And then what was the deal? He goes, the highest, according to the agent. And this has got to be like the guy pulling his hair out. Like, according to the agent, 25 offers, highest offer $1 million, and clients or sellers' expectations are 1.1. Ooh. Because the house that they saw during the summer sold for 1.3, and they think the fair adjustment is 1.1 at this point. Market says differently.
Okay.
So 25 offers don't sell the house. To me, it sounds like something we talked about before. Where did the offers fall? Likely most of them are going to be at the bottom, and only one or two, like, there's going to be some outliers, maybe 10% at the top, 10% at the bottom, and then the rest of the 80% is your actual market value.
There's more lowballers than there are, right? So people are more like, hey, let's see how desperate they are. We'll throw a number out there. So if the sellers were expecting 1.1, these buyers, who 25 buyers, were probably like, let's see how desperate they are. Let's throw a number out there. Let's not overshoot.
Right.
So when they don't sell, maybe when they do relist it, and these buyers see the new price, they're like, oh, okay. I'd pay that for that.
Right.
I just didn't want to
do it at the time.
I didn't want to do it at the time because I didn't want to feel like I was overpaying.
You didn't want to be sure, I guess.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But yeah, like I just thought about it, like imagine like the people that are under the impression that the market is slow, and they're sitting there going 25 offers. Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah,
and I think that people are so, and we are seeing those kind of examples where a house doesn't sell on the offer date, price is now adjusted upwards, and within 2 days or something, somebody's going to get their price, right? So I mean, there's still a demand for property out here. 25 people is 25 people that want to buy it.
It's on one property.
But bro,
I think that same day there was 12 offers on another property.
On another property, yeah. So I've heard it. That one we're talking about here specifically was in Ajax, and seeing similar things in Markham, downtown Toronto.
I have an investor that I'm working with, and we were looking at a complete gut. And there were 17 offers on that one. So investors are still out there looking for their score, right?
Well, it makes sense if the rental market's on fire,
right?
Still on fire. Like you were just telling me while we were getting set up. Why don't you tell the people about your glorious rental?
Midland and Lawrence, the Prudential area. These are older condos. I would say about 30 to 40 years old, and it's an older community out there. These are like you go into these condos, it's like carpet in there. There's no security. Some of the units don't even have washers and dryers.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an older building. A lot of new immigrants and like
specific kind of demographic.
Specific kind of demographic, and so we listed this property for rent on Monday.
Yeah.
And within that day, we got 6 offers.
And so before you continue, can you just describe what that product is so people know what we're...
So it's a 1 bed, 1 bath. It's around 800 square feet. So it's a very big unit.
For a bachelor, yeah.
1 parking. All the utilities are included. There's carpet throughout the whole unit, except for the kitchen and the washroom. But it's carpet throughout. So it's really old and worn. And then you get 6 offers on the property, and you're looking at these people who are applying for the property.
Yeah.
Some of these people are very good. They're making $120K. They're a couple. Their credit's pretty good, and you're wondering why are they applying for this property?
Why here?
I mean, thankfully, I would love to have them because they're great profiles, and my clients love them. But you think about it, and you think about the agent who's helping them out, and you're like, why are you putting them here?
Right.
With $120K, you spend an extra $200, you can get a nicer. Newer condo.
Yeah.
Is it the space that they're looking for? But like again, it's not the nicest unit.
And sorry, how much were you going for? How much were
we
you?
were listed at 1900.
1900
in Scarborough.
In Scarborough. So let's give that like I don't know, just as a kind of for shits and giggles. Shits and giggles.
You for sale.
Yeah. So this is in the entirety of Toronto.
Right.
Entirety of Toronto, being central, being east, and being west. You have 214 options under $2,000 to rent.
Right.
How many people do you fucking think are in the city like that need a place to rent? But more than 200.
Right. But you're also including basements in this.
Fucking, we're including parking spots. You said like $60 lockers. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I got
let's refine
250. So out of 200, okay, let's just put it this way. Out of 200, man, at least 10% of them are fucking bullshit. Like there's lockers and parking spots. Then when you get into the actual meat of stuff, we're just talking about 1-bedroom basement apartments.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily like yours might not be in the best area. These aren't in the best areas either.
Right.
Then when we get to a 1900 price tag, like again, what you're sitting here is just one plus one. So you're gonna be sharing a lot. Anyways, it's just good to show like there's not a lot for anybody that's in that price range.
Right.
And like when you were saying why are they coming to this place, who knows, it could be like they have a plan.
Right.
They need the number to work for them, and they're willing to sacrifice in terms of location or lifestyle in order to make their plan happen, which is possible. I know people that like it's not frugality. It's like a plan. If they have something that they're working towards and they know that they can actually rent this place out for a very comfortable number, they live like that and they're okay.
That's true. I also forget that it's a temporary situation.
Temporary situation. But my thing, like when we talk about these kind of numbers, is like, where the hell are people gonna go? Because like I don't know how much the wages right now are not being raise at the same rate that the rents are going.
Oh, so you're saying the new $15.50 minimum wage isn't going to help you,
bro? What are you going to do? It costs you like your average McDonald's meal is costing what? $15 anyways, $16 anyways, right? So like you're not really getting ahead. And then I don't know, like we're looking at the numbers for let's just say the rental market. Where there's not a lot to choose from. There's not a lot of options. Then when we look on the sales side, we're not seeing any sales. Well, there's inventory, but there's not sales happening. So it's like the people who could be buying are not trying to buy.
Right.
And I saw something interesting. I'll get your thoughts on it, but basically pointing to the issue that has remained an issue all along: supply. So this is just coming from the Toronto Real Estate Board, and the headline reads, "Supply remains an issue despite the impact of higher mortgage rates." So everybody's looking at mortgage rates crippling the market. But like it's been an ongoing problem that we just don't have enough property for people to purchase or live in.
Facts.
So here is what they were trying to say. New listings. This is talking about from September of last year. This is the stats that they released. So new listings were also down on a year-over-year basis by 16.7%. This was the lowest number of listings reported for the month of September since 2002. This is especially troublesome given that the stock of homes in the GTA increased markedly over the last 20 years. Like 20 years ago, we had less houses available. Now we have more houses available. Even if it's not enough, we still have more.
We have more, but we have more people too. So proportionally, It doesn't really make sense.
That's why it doesn't make sense. That's why something doesn't. We have more houses, more people. Nobody's trying to do anything. So do we have a demand? Is our demand as strong as we like to think, or is there something else? Like, is there a story beneath the story?
No, I think demand is there. It's just that the cost to buy right now, the cost to hold a property, doesn't make sense for a lot of people. Like I was looking personally for myself, to buy a $600,000 condo.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm putting down minimum 10%.
Yeah.
My carrying cost is at least $3,000 for a 500 square foot condo with maybe, if I'm lucky, with parking. Right. And if I'm looking at rental prices, rentals are more appealing right now because you can get one for $2,500.
And it's still bigger, and you're not on the hook for it.
I can leave whenever I want.
When you want to leave. Well, after the end of your lease.
Exactly.
If you need to get out of your lease, time call us. But yeah, like, okay, so that part there I think is very telling, because it's not like you're not doing well for yourself, but the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah.
So we have higher borrowing costs, but it doesn't seem like the prices have been adjusted to a point where either buyers feel comfortable to buy. So like we are seeing that it's settled, but we haven't seen the return of the buyers.
Yeah.
And one big cohort that I think is really getting like the short end of the stick right now is your first timers. What are you going to do? That's your first property that you're going to get into at a time like this, when the uncertainty's still kind of mounting.
Right.
Like nobody knows how high the rates will go. Like facts on facts. Inflation is still the problem. The only tool the Bank of Canada has to lower inflation is the rates.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what their break point is, where they might stop, but they indicate that we're still going to go up for the rest of by the end of this year, we'll still be a little bit up from where we are today.
Right.
So if we're at 3.25, we might go up to 3.5 or 3.75.
Yeah.
Possibly another increase in the first quarter of the next year, 2023, and then maybe at the halfway point we might see some sort of pressure release.
Right.
If as a first-time home buyer, you have the choice: rent and wait, or buy resale, right, and live in it today. And as long, like, in my opinion, I want your opinion too. What's some sort of criteria that you would be looking at to make yourself feel comfortable about making the purchase? Like, I get it, the condo at that price is it's not ideal. You feel like you could be paying more to get more. Yeah. Right. And that's the smallest level of ownership that you can really get into. It's like you can't get much smaller than a condo at the end of the day, right?
It's I think there's multiple factors that you kind of consider. One, can you hold the costs?
Yeah.
Right. Does it make sense for your budget, your monthly spending, to fork up so much money per month for a property that you might not be happy with?
Yeah.
Maybe. Because skin in the game is better than time in the market. Skin in the game is better than not being in it. Right. If it's also hard to outsave the market too. When things were good, you couldn't save fast enough to buy a property anyways, right? So if you had a property, you could leverage that to move and to get something better,
right?
So at the end of the day, buying and holding, especially in Toronto will always appreciate first, and it will be the last to be affected in a downturn.
That's where everything has to come back. So this is why the advice is sound. Stick to your city centers, stick to your metropolitan areas where there's job and more people, because that's where most of the action's happening.
So I think it comes down to security. Can you afford to cover the cost per month? Does it make sense for your budget? Can you last 8 months, 12 months with a crazy?
Have you heard from your own clients? I guess now, do you have any first time home buyers that you're talking to at the moment?
I have some that are starting to buy. That are shopping. Yeah,
they're shopping, right? So they're starting the process. I also have a bunch now that they're always asking, figuring out.
It's kind of crazy too, because the amount of increases from the Bank of Canada kind of screws them over. Every time
you're getting stress test at 7% right now.
Every time they do a new increase, which has been frequently, at least every other month.
Yeah.
And my clients have to go back and double check. Hey, can we actually afford
what we wanted to?
Yeah, because their budget went from 900 to 800.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy too? Okay, now so those are the people that haven't bought yet. Then I have the other kind of segment of people where they were first-time home buyers. They've gotten into their place, but now the conversation ends up being like, how much is the mortgage going up by?
Right.
And I felt bad because there's some situations where. Like the people ended up moving where they moved to Bowmanville, or they moved farther out.
Right.
And at that time, it seemed like a no-brainer. Need a place, got to get it, got to go out there. And only till you get out there do you realize that it's different. If you wanted to go have a casual coffee with your friend in Toronto, that doesn't happen. Right. So I had a couple people that were. Kind of like surprised at how much their payments went up. And it's like, if you didn't expect it, you didn't expect it. That's one thing.
Right.
But it's a very quick shock to the system. And it seems like the government, like the Bank of Canada, is kind of like doubling down on the fact they're like, we're going to have to cause some pain. That's the word they're using. Pain. To the other markets, other sectors, is to get this inflation down. So for a first-time home buyer trying to get into the market, like one of the conversations I was having yesterday with one of my guys, it was like, the only thing I could shorten it down and condense it was, don't put the cart ahead of the horse. Right. And like your wants and your needs are totally there. Like you can come up with that all the time. However, it's back to fundamentals. There's no point in you making this huge wish list only to find out that you can only afford X product. You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
You don't give yourself that false sense of hope, because I'm like, you could. The guy basically here's a story in a nutshell. Hey, you and your girlfriend, soon to be fiance, gonna get married and they're gonna step up. And what are your plans for moving? Oh man, I'm not gonna move into a condo. I'm not trying to live like that. Like
what's wrong with the condo?
Well, no, it's just literally connotations. And again, these people must be coming from a nice house. Like they're coming from something that they are comparing condo life to.
Right.
And it's definitely a change if you haven't experienced it, but it's living nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so what I'm trying to get at with him was, what's the lifestyle? Like how much do you want to be paying for your house versus how much do you need to pay for your life, the way that your life is?
Right.
And I'm just at that point just trying to get the figures. The guy doesn't know the figures. And I'm like, as a first-time home buyer, you're talking a lot, but you don't know what's realistic, because I let him talk, Then it got to the point where I said, how much, let's get to the numbers of it. How much do you make combined? Tells me the number. I say roughly take 3.5 to 4 times that amount. That should be technically where your mortgage kind of gets to.
Yeah, I think they stretch it maybe 5%.
Maybe a little bit more. So like just a little bit more. I'm like, that's a safe place. He goes, oh, okay, cool. I should be able to get something nice for that. And I'm like, yeah, let me see your wish list. And he's like, this backyard, detached, 2-car, and I'm like showing him, here's 800, 2+1 bedroom, 2+1 condo, 2+1 or like a condo townhouse. And it was just to show like, you got to be realistic with what you're thinking.
Right.
And that's somebody that's not in the shopping phase. That's somebody that's still in the dreaming phase.
Yeah, maybe because they haven't looked at properties.
That's right.
They're just thinking about it. Back in the day, $800,000 got you so much. Seems like a lot. Well, it got you so much.
Seems like a lot.
2018, 2017, you could get something pretty decent for $800K. Now, $800K is a condo.
Now,
depending on where you want.
The other one that was interesting too was with regards to a down payment.
Right.
So everybody has options, and I know one thing that's always been floating around has been the bank of mom and dad.
Yes.
So in this situation, if they have their own money that's kind of set aside, let's just say for $800,000, they have $200,000 that they could put down.
Okay.
But they can also get help from their parents and get an additional $200,000.
Ooh, that's
so
a good bank.
Down payment of $400,000. Would you be looking like, this is your personal? I guess this is I want to know your personal opinion. Would you like put all that down just to get a bigger house, or would you like to keep some money on the reserve for yourself? Like, it's the house rich, cash poor kind of trade-off.
I hate that feeling.
It's a terrible feeling.
Terrible feeling. It's like you're back in like university days. You eat ramen packs.
Ramen noodles.
You're just like, how can I can't even pay for gas, No, I think I would want to be comfortable. I would still want to live life,
Yeah.
I don't want to be struggling paycheck to paycheck and stuff like that. So like, I might settle for a smaller house, not have everything I need.
Right.
Just so I can be more comfortable, especially in this economy
Man.
This economy is going, like, we got the Bank of England struggling with liquidity.
Fucking UN is telling everybody.
The UN saying, hey, everyone, stop your interest rate increases.
Stop your bullshit.
No, this ain't good. We got North Korea firing a rocket over Japan.
For fuck's sake. Russia's still fucking around.
Russia's still fighting. Like, gas is
creeping back up, eh?
This winter is gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be testing, definitely, and I think that's a very, very conscious point to take for a first-time home buyer. You really gotta ask yourself the question, because your realtor is not going to answer that question.
Yeah,
they can only lead you to think the way you need to think to answer the question. How much are you trying to concede by moving into the place you're going to move into? Because at the end of the day, unless you're making more money, your money has to be able to go long or short.
You got to stretch it.
So I know that's a thank you for your opinion, because that's something that right from the ground level, I think setting your expectation the right way as a first-time home buyer makes your process and helps to clarify the plan that you want to adopt. Because if you don't go, if it's just like, I'm just gonna get a place, I don't really care, I don't care, I just need a place, fine, by all means, just pay for it and you get it, right? But that's the main thing as an agent. We want to make sure that our people are gonna be okay where they go.
Yeah,
it's not just a matter of buy it and don't worry about it.
As much as we make money on the sale of a property and getting you to buy something, we don't want a phone call a month later, 2 months later, being like, "Why did you make me do this?"
Exactly,
right?
And I think that's a good. That's it. That's what, in my opinion, a good agent, your agent, needs to be concerned about those types of things. And even if you're not, they should still always be pressing for that. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Make sure let's make the right decisions here. Did you see anything like one thing that I know that we've been doing, and we're going to do it more so often on the podcast now, is we got some funny stuff, man. We got some funny stuff that we see on a day-to-day basis, and we laugh about it, but we're gonna,
like, look
so
at this.
What's real and what's not real in this one here? Let's see if we can put it
into perspective.
So let's just put it this way, Yusen.
Yeah,
this entire picture that we're looking at right now, from the light fixtures to the furniture, is not real. Even the freaking bookshelf in the corner, there's probably not real,
right?
But somebody
said this was
only
okay.
had this many pictures to fucking load to the thing, so they put all this mismatch of like, bro, you didn't even line up things.
There's no shadow. The proportions are wrong.
Oh my gosh!
It's like a 2-year-old.
But how much do you think that? Like, how much does virtual staging cost? First of all, like you've done it,
$50 to $100 per photo, depending on who you use.
And in your opinion, what would make a virtual staging, like, what makes it good? I think it's like,
If it looks real,
if it looks
you can't
real,
even
you can't
tell.
tell, then you know that's good. This thing is just like,
You went into paint.
yeah. So I don't even know. Like, it looks like things are floating, man.
They are. That's the shadow. There's no shadows.
There's no shadow. Those, come on. And that's this one. Like,
I love the little flower on that little table.
Like, come on, man.
And there's a little flower
in the corner,
right here,
and then this weird. You see this the pink couch, and how it's just kind of blending into the rug. It's just like, oh, it's one of those 2-legged couches.
Exactly.
Interesting. And then I don't know, like, who thought it was a good idea? Ooh.
Honestly, so this one isn't too bad.
This one's like, hey man, you want fruit? You get fruit.
This isn't too bad because, like, listen, from an investor point of view, the more rundown it looks, the more sketchy, the more I get to feel that there are bed bugs, there's cockroaches.
Yeah.
The more an investor will want to be in there, right?
Yeah.
This is the dream home. No one wants it. I'm gonna pay.
I'll take it. Fair enough. It's just a little bit messy. Just a fixer-upper, right?
Just a fixer-up. Needs some love and tender care. TLC.
This one, honestly, I'm not pissed off at this one.
No, this isn't.
I'm like, you know what? This one I could actually make a story up that would be very convincing. Like, hey, ran into tough times, you know, got to get out and left the place, and I left my friend there to make sure that the place was okay, but he turned in to be a bad guy, and he was doing all sorts of, you know, crazy stuff, and then he trashed the place, and then he left it, now we're going to sell it. I'm not cleaning it. First one was just like, bro, you thought that was a good idea. I just want to know that chair looks grimy. That looks like somebody got like spontaneous human combustion happen on that chair or something. Fuck.
Oh my god! All right.
Dingy, but not bad. Like not bad. I would prefer. Like, imagine this guy was virtually staged.
Because this house probably isn't movable, right? It's a gut to begin with.
Got it.
You're putting work in.
It is what it is.
Yeah. We go into number 3 here. Yeah, we got some spirits.
What the hell is this?
Got some ghosts.
Oh shit!
This is probably taken off of your.
This guy probably did coke off his phone or something like that and left residue on it.
Oh no! What happened? All right, so
I don't know if I can say that on the air, but
this is probably done by your realtor who's been in the business for 50 years.
Yeah, I do things my way.
And they're taking the photos with a point and shoot.
Yeah.
Right? A point and shoot Canon power shot.
Yeah.
And they managed to catch. Do you know what the circles are?
I don't. I thought there were residues of like some. Yeah. What are
when I grew up as a kid, I was always told when you see these little circle dots on the photos,
orbs.
They're orbs. They're fucking spirits.
Yeah, they're spirits.
This house is haunted.
And then I looked at this and I'll be like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But like, bro, it's upsetting to see these kind of things. Because it's like, yo, you're better off not even putting a photo. Come and see it.
Come and see. Just put it in the front of the house.
Front of the house. That's it. But
last one here.
Is that the vibe for his fucking outside house?
This is like a cottage looking.
Kind of has a.
And there's that little doll on the couch. Why would I don't know.
That's a little bit freaky.
It's a little creepy, like Annabelle kind of.
Yeah, this one's a little bit freaky.
Halloween theme.
This one at night would be a little bit freaky. You get that big ass hole at the top of there. You see it?
Yeah.
And,
it's an investor's dream, though.
Oh yeah. This one feels like some crazy stuff happened in this room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I feel like there were orgies happening here.
Something like that. Like
it was like 70s,
going
like
in and out of the
parties.
window and shit. High ceilings that are probably hanging off that. With the exception of the first photo, all the rest of them were all natural photos of the place, the way it looks.
Right.
Which to me is like, all right, man,
fine.
Don't catfish.
Exactly.
Not catfishing.
This is what it is.
Appreciate it. Thanks for not, giving us the runaround. Right. First guy's just like, and then I can only wonder what the caption would be. Mm-hmm. So why don't we make that, if anything, we make that, like, if we can, we'll try it out. We'll put these photos up and put find out if our audiences can give us the best caption. Yeah, so that's a first segment into what the hell is going on.
What happens in real estate?
Yeah, but if you guys guys have any photos like that or any stories like that that you'd like featured on it, by all means, we'll put out a social media post or you can dump it there for us. But we'd love to get reactions for that. So I think it's hilarious when we see this kind of stuff in a down market too. You're like, man, you need to do more at this time,
right?
Not less. And like, don't reinvent the wheel, especially with virtual staging. If it looks good, like I think it's the same thing with regular staging.
Right.
If it looks good, looks like it's natural, and the aesthetics are on, like by all means, man. People like that stuff. But if it's like you can't figure out what's going on in this house, and you're just like, why?
I would also say if you're going to do virtual staging, make sure it's still the home.
Yeah.
What we're seeing sometimes is that these virtual stages, when they go in, they're changing the colors of the walls
and stuff
they're
like
adding
that.
feature walls or feature colors, and then when you go into the home, it's like
it's not like that.
It's a complete catfish.
But why is that? Why is that there's no, like, we don't have rules. The only rules it seems like we have about pictures are you can't, if you're showing it online, you can't put your own sign. Like your sign can't be visible in the picture. But like, okay, it started off with things like people changing the sky, like, you know, those the filter night filter. Okay, cool. Then it started happening with like, oh, you can just touch up this little scratch on my floor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, photoshopping. Then it just turned into this industry where it's like, okay, we don't want to stage, and it happened more so during the pandemic, I guess.
Let's render your whole home to a different home to show the possible potentials of what you can
then
make.
it's like, yo, you're not selling that. That's not what you're selling. Like, that's like, okay, that's like, for example, we see it, and it's a tactic, but like, I think we had, I don't know, won't name names, but like, the house it's a little tiny house, but then the picture for sale is showing you like a strip mall. So
right.
Like, this is what you could build on it, and you're like, really? And you look at it, you go, no, you can't. You go, no, you can't. I checked the loading, you can't do that. And it's like, where do you draw the line? Where does the integrity start and stop? I guess. Like, shit, you gotta know what you're selling. It can't be that. It's misleading, right? That's like, if for any other industry, like a car, for example, you can't say that. You can't be like, oh, it has this many kilometers and it doesn't.
Right.
Like, they're gonna come for you. For it. I think that's a
good
place to put it off.
Yeah.
Thank you, Beck, for coming back and visiting us and listening to us on
Hope you like seeing our faces this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix my hair next time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. We'll see how it goes. But thank you guys for tuning in. Hope that was some useful tips for first-time home buyers. I know it's not really in depth, but most times we don't have to make things complicated.
Right.
I think part of being good at what you do is to take something complicated and just simplify it. Right. So our goal is to give you guys relevant information that you guys can use on a day-to-day basis, or if it's not for you right now, it will come useful for you in the future. So we're always open to any ideas out there. We're looking for a little bit more engagement, which you can see us on our channels.
Yes, sir.
Where we're going to be Spotify. We'll be on Instagram.
We'll be on the YouTube. Maybe the TikTok.
Maybe TikTok. I have to get the tick, but I don't know about the talk, but it's okay. I can talk, but I don't know how to tick. I don't know. Anyways, so we'll see you guys next week.
All right.